place where we swim up in the woods near my father's farm. Here where 4 fields meet, there is the common ground of the town's first cemetery, seated with its founding families. It is the gate you must pass through to walk on turned furrows to a stand of trees to swim this summer in the granite quarry, whose yield grows here perennially, life's labors and strife summed up with hammered dates and a carved quatrain, Death Angel presiding. So Jesus slept, God's dying Son, passed through the grave and blessed the bed. Rest here, dear one, till from his throne the morning broke and pierced the shade. Walking here from my father's house, the sun burnt stripes on my shoulder blades. The farmer pulls the plow till he strikes rock, and the serpent writhes around the sun in the talons of the hawk. I forget if the pool of memory was spring or stream fed. Here there can be no sounding in fathoms. Where the rock was chiseled and blasted, water was struck, and filled the blue and white chasms, and rose up to receive the rain and gather runoff. Dive from this crag into the sun's reflective rash, and plumb the depths of darkness where no one can touch you, past terrace slabs black with decomposing leaf, down cold stone stairways that brush the smooth kiss of broken statuary, where one ray penetrates like a silver silken web, and but for yearning for air and light, you could hang suspended forever in cool museum. So flex back up to stroke in the fiery wake, and in the wash of your vision, see the face in the rock and the body shimmer on the surface. I am alive on the steps of this flooded, unfinished temple, hearing the hummingbird by my head, watching the myths unfold in moving diamonds and hourglasses cast on the walls from the water's reflection. Leaning back on the soft matted grass on the wet stone, I let a dragonfly land on a sun-bleached page of Li Po, and the light through its purple wing puts color on the leaf. I see her turn in profile, climbing from her bath, feeding seeds to fish gathered at the lip of the white ledge, then picking up a pine cone and a piece of smooth glass that rolls in her palm like a drop of molten gold that makes my eyes ache. Dreams abide beneath this rock, her leaning over me, and the weave of branches behind her head holds the sky's great opera, music for voices and woodwind. In love, we turned our faces to the rain. When we awoke, it was already falling. The clouds were not ominous when they opened. The water softened on the wind, and we saw circles within circles on the smoked glass surface, the kind skipping stones make, or acorns dropping in a pool from the overhanging bough. It was then I felt chill. The wing fell over me, the blue heron flapping down like a transformed deity, shadow spanning both banks, a woman changed by jealousy passing strange. Fear of being followed come as sudden as this shower. I froze while she watched me from the bracken, and felt the lash on my cheek when the bird flew away. Speech stolen, no tongue to tell of this. Let her divine her answer from the sound of falling water drops. This is called Fear of Flying, but an out-of-body experience I had. It was fun. He would have given him wings, not nubs of bone on the back, but she has given us dreams, and came for me in the dark and pulled me from the sack, gathered me in the winding sheet, drew me to her breast, and took me on the wing, higher than I've ever been, out-of-body surfing on the wind, floating in the blood and water issue of the nightmare's womb, no other sensation but soaring headlong flight, eyes rolled back. I could not see the face of the one who carried me, so, like the drunk who snaps his lolling head awake from liquid fantasy, I pulled back, and with contempt for he who hesitates, she dropped me down to my presumed familiarity, and my sleep lay heavy on me. Upon waking, I resigned my flying fancy to dreaming, but thinking still of she who tried to take me, I reached my hand to feel the smooth curve of the breeze-billowed curtain and saw a tender bruise of black and blue from her tightened grip on my arm. And my last poem is dedicated to Thomas Chatterton, whose birthday it is today. He tried to pass his poems off as ones of antiquity and poisoned himself at age 17 in a garret. And the poem is called Gesture. Fair enough to say of her that once seen, her kind face filled all my days and nights with dream, and that her gracious meet again was meant, so that Park Street bells announce her luminous at noon, and that the hip sway of her peasant dress sweeps the golden pollen on its way, and the casual swing of her gracile limbs lifts the heat and mocks the dry bones of the honored dead the granary keeps. Around the dry fountain where the iron muses drowse, vendors ply their wares on blankets and ladle stuffs from carts. Clowns juggle lit batons for children, and bums sleep off the preacher's sweaty speech of eternal damnation. She moves above the common fare and comes to rest lightly on the grass, and brushes back the birds and my word balloons with a laugh, but lets my hands stay on the small of her back. I wrote her of the coming of the summer eclipse. She saw it, but I didn't, fretting alone under a clouded sky, the lunar transition opaqued to my eye. Would that we had watched together on a high hill, though a maiden doesn't thrill to see a lady in waiting hide her face in her hands. Fitting to part over the bridge on the river, not much music on the humid air, but the dull rhythmic chant of rowers below the falling tresses of her loosened hair. She is cool enough, though frozen confection melts on her lips. Words are bitter, but the sound is sweet. Sting of a kiss in the ear, calloused hand of the plowboy feels the burn beneath her soft slip and the fact of age, and we lean to see no reflection from the brown water by the broken reeds. This tree has bloomed and grown to fill the contours of your absence. Silvered tracery on the slender bodice, white blossoms from the wreathed branches flake down like first snow, and moths flit around the top to spin a crown of leaves and berries like flowers themselves in flight. There are harps and lyres enough already hanging in the air and weighing down her green boughs with tribute, though I too am willing witness to be proven on the tree. Oh, nail my heart to love thee. Thank you.
Sean Heaney. Sean, beautiful reading. Thank you. We're going to take a very short break and have a surprise guest from Soviet Georgia reading very briefly with us as an addenda.